Welcome to the Future Print Leaders Summit. Really excited to be joined for this session by Peter Bergstein, CEO of Bergstein. Thank you so much for joining us, Peter.
Hey, hello. Nice to be there.
Thank you for being with us. And I think we're going to kick off with a short video just to introduce everybody to the company itself.
Yes. Okay. Will be great.
At Bergstein, we design and develop the latest in high-tech industrial printing solutions. With our modular range of Digi5, Digi7, and Digi9 printers and our standalone single print modules, we can provide you with huge amounts of prints per hour, ramping up your production capacity. More than 50 years ago, we started in the industrial printing business, and from there on developed a future-proof digital printing solution. With our team of skilled developers, technicians, and print specialists, we develop, produce, and deliver a custom-made solution, catering your needs. The in-house development and production of our own ink systems, print modules, and related software guarantees the best quality prints for your product printed in high speed. On top of that, we also deliver loading and unloading solutions for our printers, integrated in your production line. At Bergstein, we don't sell printers, we sell solutions.
Perfect. Thank you so much for sharing that with us, Peter. So we've got the intro to Bergstein, the company, perhaps an introduction to Bergstein, the man. Perhaps you could tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be CEO of the company.
Yes, okay. No problem. Well, Peter Bergstein is my name. I'm the owner. I'm the CEO of the Bergstein Group. Bergstein Group has got actually 3 companies inside, but the most important ones are the Bergstein BV. That's the company that does more than 50 years of experience in pad printing and screen printing. And the last company is the Bergstein Digital BV that has become into the digital market since 2003. So we already been there for a long time in the industrial market. We grow from 3 people up to 18 people right now, and we're still growing. And we started with selling small flatbed printers, and now we are a machine maker for single pass industrial printers. So that's in a very short period of time what we have done. My experience is 32 years of industrial printing experience.
Wow, fantastic. And we were lucky enough to have you as a speaker at the Future Print Virtual Conference last month, speaking, as you say, about single pass customization for industrial. And, yes. Here we are at the Leaders Summit. It's, more about looking at that bigger picture, offering the audience an insight into the vision of print leaders. So perhaps we can start with your vision from a market perspective. Which sectors are Bergstein currently committed to as your focus?
Actually, at this moment, we don't really have a focus on the market segments. The only focus we have, everything should be industrial printing. So no sign industry or whatever, direct to shape industrial printing. That's our goal. And that's the only thing what we do. So if you take examples like the medical industry or the automotive industry or the consumer industry, that's where we would like to be. And that's our focus.
Fantastic. And what is it about those areas that are of interest to you?
Actually, the interest became from the customers to us. What we try to sell a solution for the customers, and of course, our experience in pad printing and screen printing told us a lot regarding how to print something, how to get the right adhesion, how should you work to get the best print quality. And all that experience has led to the market segments which we are already in pad printing and screen printing, that we continue that by getting these people from pad printing into digital.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting to hear, hear you say it comes from the customers. I think one of the interesting things about Bergstein is that philosophy of, we don't sell printers, we sell solutions. And, there's
Yes.
that idea that your products are about solving problems and meeting the customers where they are with their needs, with a kind of modular approach. So it would be great to talk a bit about, in your words, what is it that differentiates Bergstein from other suppliers?
Yeah, so our slogan, we do not sell printers, we sell solutions. That's something really different than maybe other competitor suppliers or people who are in that industrial printing area. What us differs is, for example, that we always start a dialogue with the customer. So we ask them to visualize their needs to us. To get this done, we have actually 6 steps we use together with the customer. And the first step is just do a test print. Show the customer the capability of a print on his product. So don't show him anything else. Show him his product, which is printed digitally. Then we have to talk with the customer for what are his needs, what are the requirements regarding adhesion, print quality, speed, whatever. If we have all that information, then we continue with research and development because we have to find a solution for that customer. We try to use as much as modules as we can, so standard products, but every customer has got their own needs and they differ from each other. After we have done this research and development, then we are looking at the validation. Okay, is everything done with the customer? Is this what you really need? Then we have to look at industrialization because our high-speed printers, you cannot load them by hand anymore. You need a loading system, an unloading system, a robot, a pick and place, whatever. We will like to integrate that as well. And then the 6th and the last step is to make the customer an offer he cannot refuse. So he's going to buy our machines.
Fantastic. It really is, the approach that's needed, I think, to actually listen to their needs and meet them there. Does that mean it's kind of a longer process, a longer relationship between you and your customers?
Yes, normally the process takes about a half a year until you get really more concrete in everything. Could be faster, but if you look at bigger, the bigger vision, then first we have to do tests. We have to send it over to the customer. They have to do these tests at their facility as well. So you cannot do this. If you have a standard printer, which is standard, then you can sell it very easily. But it's always, it's a different kind of plastic, different requirements. Tupperware needs the 85 degrees Celsius, 125 times in a dishwasher. The automotive industry is totally different. The medical industry has totally different requirements. So every time we need to specify and get in contact with the customer to find a good solution for them.
And just while we're on that subject of that philosophy that we sell solutions, from a leadership perspective, as we're at the Leaders Summit, you're at the top of the business. How do you make sure that that's a philosophy that permeates throughout your business, that all your members of staff, are committed to that vision? We're innovative, we're customer led. How do you make sure that everybody's on board with that way of thinking?
I think we have the right people who wanted to start thinking out of the box as well. Compare this to a supplier that only offers this printer. If the customer asks us to go a little bit more wide, we fix it, we do it. So the out of the box thinking about new ideas, and especially on research and development, which we do a lot. We invest a lot in research and development just to be upfront, just to get these problems solved for the customer. Because normally, it's a solution is not out of the shelf. You cannot take it and say, okay, customer, here you got it. This is it, and just buy the machine. It's always stupid thinking. Give you an example. At this moment, we are producing 2 lines to print on gloves, the hand gloves, which are very popular right now in this COVID area. Yeah. And we find a way that we can load them on the fly and making huge amount of prints per hour. The printing itself is not really very high end, but the loading, unloading, thinking out of the box, that's the key to get this order.
Fantastic. As we said, this event is perfect opportunity really for our community, for the industry to benefit from the insights of those at the top of businesses who have that high level view of the industry. So it'd be great, at this point to get some of your thoughts on the future of industrial digital printing. Where do you see it going, let's say, perhaps over the next couple of years in terms of development and further, if you want to look further ahead into the future as well?
So if you look in general, then I would say it will become much more important into the market than it is right now. I think it will take over lots of old-fashioned pad printing and screen printing customers who will decide to go to industrial single pass printing. And why? It's because of the huge advantages the single pass will have. I give you some of the unique selling points are, for example, personalization of products. Nowadays, you already see that a lot of products are printed digitally because you can personalize them. Look at the Gucci shoes or the Prada bags or whatever, Adidas, who mark their soccer balls with your name on it. They want to personalize it. That's the first one. The printing on demand is a very important thing as well. No more stock at a customer's place. You just print at the end of the line, and the customer demands the need for the print, and you make that print job. Nothing more, nothing in stock anymore. So that takes also that in regard that what we see in the market, that the orders are getting smaller and smaller. So what you need to have is very fast turnover times. You cannot put the ink out, clean everything, put it back, adjustment, whatever. In digital, it only takes a changing of a file and then you're on. So that means that these examples, for example, can show you that the digital is getting more interesting in the world in general. And for us, we have lots of experience with pad printing and with screen printing in the industrial market. And we already solved those problems. Now we will do the same in digital world. Mm-hmm. We learn from our mistakes by just stepping into a new market where no knowledge is available, and we just did it. I think that gives us a lead as well. And using our own developments with our own team, we can reach much more nice goals. So we have our own ink system. We developed our own LED lamps. We have our own nice software that's needed to become also a kind of leader in the market.
Mm. And do you think that being, compared to some, really, really large companies that are equipment manufacturers, you're perhaps more of an agile company. Do you think that gives you an edge in terms of being able to, like you say, go into a market, try something. If it doesn't work out, you learn from that mistake. You modify what you're doing.
Yeah, okay. If you compare us to the big guys, the only difference is that they got more money and they got more people. But the out-of-the-box thinking, I think that's a very nice, interesting point, which our customer would need to have. So they are interested in getting our goals done to receive their problems, to not to receive their problems, but to solve their problems. Yeah. We need to become faster. We need to become more acute to these developments. And Bergstein just wants to be upfront in the market. And with a small team, with the right people, we can do it faster and better than a bigger company in a bigger team. That's my perspective.
And so, just staying on, looking to the future of industrial printing over the next few years. You've kind of outlined some of the trends that you think will continue to grow. What's Bergstein's specific focus going to be in terms of the development of industrial digital printing?
So our goal is actually that we will have 2 or 3, let's say, more modular built solid machines. We call it the Digi series, which we could sell in specific market area. That is our goal. And besides that should be, let's say, the basic of the Bergstein digital BV. But still, we would love to have some projects which are really out of the box, using robots, using different kinds of materials, different loading systems. That's nice. But still, of course, you're a company, you would like to make some money, and you would like to also be steady in the market. That means that we would like to sell solid machines on a basic range as well.
Yeah. And that's really interesting, looking at robotics, looking at future technologies, and also looking at the trends that you outlined in terms of, the trends we'll be seeing in industrial digital print, that it's something that your competitors will surely be kind of looking at as well. And we've talked about your kind of unique value proposition at Bergstein, but, as we continue to go down this path of these these trends and the implementation of other technologies, how will Bergstein continue to set yourself apart?
What I think actually in general is that this industrial digital solution in the market is just starting. And I think that the market is still very, very big, and there will be enough space for a lot more people who would like to do this, what we do. So whether they are big companies or smaller companies, I think there's always a piece of the pie that will be over for us. We've done that. We've proven this for more than 50 years in pad printing and screen printing, and we will do this in digital printing as well. I don't see any hazards that this is not going to work. And from the approach of our customers and the leads we have right now, it also gives me a very good feeling that the future for industrial digital printing will remain as a good step, which we have taken for about 20 years ago.
Do you find that your customer base, from your experience in screen and pad printing, are kind of moving with you into the digital sphere and realizing the benefits of digital in industrial?
It's a learning curve. It's like it's a traditional, a little bit old-fashioned way. It's existing for 20, 30, 40 years, pad printing and screen printing. And it's also, if you compare it to digital, it's totally different. The people who are working on pad printing and screen printing machines, they need to relearn and get to know how to work with computers instead of how to work with a spoon and mixing ink, because that's all history. Now it's more electronics. Now it's more focused into the computer and everything which is involved with it. So you need also different people. But it should not be an issue for anybody. It's no high science. It's just a learning curve that everybody needs to go through. If you compare 20 years ago, the first mobile phones, and look what we have right now. Now, right now, you do everything on your phone. You get your bills. You get not only your phone call. The phone calls is maybe the last thing you will do nowadays. You use it for totally different stuff. I think the digital world for printing will also continue this as well. The pad printing, screen printing, it will remain always, but the future will be the digital. I agree. And I just think one thing I do want to bring up, I think, just to reference, the pandemic, I think one of the driving forces behind, the Leaders Summit was at the beginning of the pandemic. We weren't seeing that kind of leadership direction. Events were being cancelled, and it was obviously a challenging time.
from your perspective as the leader of your company, over the last 12 months, how have you reacted? How have you had to kind of retool? How have you had to rethink, the way you operate? I guess a lot of what you do is travel, is meeting customers within your business. So how have you, met those challenges?
Yeah, that traveling was really a challenge. And of course, everybody can say you do it by Teams, by Zoom, whatever. But a customer will never buy a machine which costs a couple of hundreds of thousands of dollars or euros if he has not seen it.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the COVID has clarified to us that we can go into different markets which were not really existing in the beginning. Take, for example, the gloves. The huge amount of gloves that are needed. Take the masks. Take all kinds of other things in the medical industry, like the syringes or pill boxes or whatever, that's increasing a lot. And we took the advantage that during this time, we also thought about our new developments, that we could put them up front, and we could actually end them and have them ready for what's going up right now. But most thing is also that we find out that there's always a need to produce. And with the COVID, it was maybe not, the people were not allowed to go into the factories for production. So if you have machines that are more automated, you need less people, you can much more easily take care of the same production, having less people working. So we installed a machine in Poland that they went from 27 people per day to 3 people per day, making more production than they ever did per day. So it could lead to a lots of positive things, but on the other hand, the COVID, of course, it is what it is. It's not over yet. Are people willing to buy still machines? Yes, but it's a little bit more difficult. But until now, we're doing fine because we have enough machines to build. And we're just hoping that it will continue the way it is right now. Yeah,
fantastic. And yeah, absolutely. And hopefully, this has, woken some people up that, if God forbid this sort of thing happened again, the more automated you are, the more those processes are in place and you've got the right equipment, the more you are able to do with less.
Yes, correct. Yeah, that's a huge advantage.
Absolutely. And we're not, we've got a few minutes left, a couple of minutes left, and it would be good, to put you on the spot a bit, Peter. It's the Leadership Summit. It's, as I said, a chance for the industry to look to the leaders in print and perhaps learn something from their approaches and get insight into, their businesses and the way they work. But, as someone with, a very long career in print, and it would be great to find out, if there's anyone that you look to for leadership, if there has been or is a company or person that kind of inspires you from a leadership perspective.
Actually, there are more people that that I'm looking up to. But I would like to see it in a different way. I see more the leadership that we would like to have. Well, what I foresee is that, let's say, that there is more cooperation in the market with the leaders together, because we cannot make a machine ourselves. We need people to do it together, not only the customer, but also the suppliers. So, and if our more leaders are willing to work together on a different level and make it to work, then the leadership will become even more important to connect instead of just being a leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that's a perfect leadership message, collaboration, connectivity. You can achieve so much more, as we work together, and we're with Future Print partners, we see so much, collaboration and knowledge sharing there. So I think a fantastic, piece of leadership advice is that need for collaboration.
Okay.
And I think that's perfect. I think we're just about at the time, and I just want to say thank you so much, Peter Bergstein, CEO of Bergstein, for joining us at the Future Print Leaders Summit.
Very welcome. It was nice talking to you.
A pleasure talking to you, absolutely. And thank you to everybody who joined us for the session. There's a lot more, fantastic sessions and insights from leaders in print. So please do stick around to catch those. But bye for now.